Come on in, welcome to my home. I know this is going to be a controversial video because some of you do not want to talk about this subject right now. But we need to. The subject is Christmas. Wait before you turn away. Here's what I want to tell you. You know those fantastic looking Christmas scenes that you've seen? Those don't just happen at the beginning of November or like the middle of December. No, these things get planned out for ages before you see them. So that's what we're going to talk about this video, is planning out your Christmas. So let's get started with this. First thing that I'm going to tell you is now is a really good time to decide on if you're going to go with a theme. There are lots of themes that you can choose, lots of different ideas that you can go with, or you can stick with your traditional, this is what we do each year, which is absolutely 100% fine. But you might want to do something different, or you even might want to take your normal, this is what we do each year, and think sort of outside of the box, moving things here, moving things there. Now, each year I do a different theme. I've done tons of different themes over the years, but some themes that you could think about for your house are, you could do a traditional theme, a natural Christmas theme, a rustic Christmas, modern Christmas, minimalist Christmas, eco-friendly Christmas, religious Christmas, patriotic Christmas, or a holiday-themed Christmas. I know you're wondering what a holiday-themed Christmas. That is one of those Christmases that's going to focus on different kinds of decorations. Okay, so if you're thinking about doing a theme, it doesn't matter what kind of theme you choose, but it does matter thinking about your actual home. I mean, when you think about trying to figure out some sort of theme, will it go with your actual house? Do you want your theme to blend in with what you have, or do you want your theme to sit on the top? And by that, think of it like, do you want it to be like icing that's on top of it, or do you want it to be blended in with everything that you have? And you can go either way, it is up to you, but make sure that your theme actually fits within your home, as in, like, don't think I'm going to make a grand castle when you live in a tiny home. You're not going to make a grand castle. So think about what you have, what you can get, and what you can do easily. That's the big thing. And why do I say making a theme right now is one of the best or most important things to do at this time? Because Christmas stuff hasn't really shown up yet. Well, it probably is by the time this video comes out. It's beginning to show up, and this gives you a chance to look at what you have. That's one of the first things that you need to do this time. Look at the stuff that you have and see, well, okay, here's my theme, or here's the stuff I have. Let's see if we can find a theme for there. Either one of those works. It works really well, but you need to think about, do I want to go out and buy new stuff, or do I want to use what I have in a different way? That's going to become really important, because one of the biggest things that you want to do right now, set a budget. Maybe your budget is like unlimited amount of money, which is absolutely fine, although when you go out and buy your Christmas stuff, think about, am I going to use this thing ever again? Or is this just a one-time item that I'm never going to touch again? And those things exist. Now, not to pick on dollar stores and those sort of places, but a lot of times people go and they make these wonderful, cool craft items from stuff that they get at the dollar store. Then at the end of the holiday season, they throw it away. Yes, you heard that right. People are throwing away their holiday decorations because next year they're going to have a whole different theme, instead of thinking, how can I use these things again? One of the first things that I will tell you, and I've said this a billion times, every holiday time comes around, don't super glue or hot glue stuff in. Use wire it in, so that way you can take it apart and completely redo it. Now, there are going to be some things that you have to hot glue in or super glue in or that sort of thing, which is fine, but think about that ahead of time. Think about the item that you are going to use, that you're going to buy. Can I reuse it in some other way? If it is, you're going to want to take care and make sure that the item can actually be reused. This is also a great time, as you're going through stuff, to see what things you absolutely love, cherish. You might not be using them this year, but you want to make sure that they are in good condition, and what things are not so cherished. What things can you now take, because this is a great time, to take your items to like some sort of thrift store or a place that you can drop off and donate items, this is a great time for it because it's before most people think about going to the stores and getting their holiday items, and you can get your stuff in there and it probably actually will go through. Make sure that all the stuff that you are taking to these stores or to these places is actually in good condition. I've heard this plenty of times where people are like, well, they're just lucky to get it. It doesn't matter if it's a little broke or a little dirty. What happens in most of those cases are when the store goes through your stuff, if it's a little broke or a little dirty, it's going to get thrown away. And this is also a great time to go through and throw away those things that are a little broke. Or at least this is the best time, and I mean the absolute best time, to clean everything up. Why is this the best time to clean everything up? It's not freezing cold. That's why. You know those big yard decorations that you've been meaning to clean up? This is it. This is a great time. You can clean them up. The other thing that I can tell you is, although your neighbors might scoff at you, getting out your Christmas lights, if you're going to put Christmas lights outside now, before it becomes freezing cold and dropping down freezing rain, this is it. This is one of the best times to do that. Now, even though I did say last year that I was going to get new Christmas trees and new garland, I didn't. I know, I need to do this. But there's still some life left in them. So the one thing that I did decide is that I wanted new lights. Here's why. Now, I've had the cool LED lights on my Christmas trees and garland for a long time now, and I found I don't like them. I'm sorry if you like cool lights. I don't. I don't like the cool white lights. I think it makes the house look cold and kind of sterile, and yeah, no, not a big fan. I do like the incandescent. I'm not a multicolor light fan. Nope, not. And here's something even stranger. I had always wanted, like really wanted, the twinkly lights. Twinkly lights are these lights that you can map out on your tree and you can have them do all sorts of different patterns and everything. And so I got some. They're really cool. You can map these things out on your tree. They can do patterns. You can come up with your own patterns. And you know what? I don't really care for them. It became one of those moments where it was just like, this is really cool. This is really great. Let's think about how I am going to view my Christmas trees. So what usually happens for me is at night I will turn on my Christmas. We'll talk about that in a second, turning on the Christmas. And I will turn on the Christmas, and then I will sit there, maybe listen to Christmas music, read a couple books while I have the Christmas tree on. That's it. Very rarely am I staring at the Christmas tree. The twinkly lights are all about motion. They're all about those cool things that you can show off to other people. And after you show them off to other people, I've found that that's where it stops. I really don't care for the lights. I don't want the motion while I'm doing something else. I don't really care for them just being on. So yeah, there's a great case of I got to try out something and find out that the thing that I wanted all this time is not something that I want at all. I really just want the warm glow of warm white lights on my trees, in my house, the fireplace video going. It'll be really nice. Okay, let's talk about turning on Christmas. One of the things that I've talked about before is I have a Google Home Assistant. I think that's what they call them now. So that way I can turn on all of my Christmas lights using one switch or one button, or using a voice activated thing, simply because now I am using the Wise plugs. You can use whatever thing that you have, but that way I can turn on multiple things at once, which is really cool and really handy, especially if I want to do something as crazy as fall asleep with my Christmas lights on. I can set a routine up that will let me fall asleep. And I don't come at me on this one. I can usually fall asleep within 5 to 10 minutes of going to bed. So then I have a routine set up that will then turn off the lights 15 minutes after I go to bed. Yes, I do hit a button that says, I'm in bed now, so that way it knows to do the timer for 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes later, all of my Christmas goes out and we are all happy. Yeah, and that's really cool. The other nice part about this is the fact that I can turn on like the outside window lights, which I'm not sure 100% I'm going to do this year. I can turn those little candles on in the windows with just a touch of a button or telling my home assistant that I want to turn those on. For that is really worth the money. The other cool thing about this is if I'm coming home, I can turn the lights on so that when I get inside the house, I have Christmas all on for me and it looks amazing. But let's also talk about the planning. This is a great time to take pictures of your room and then start deciding where you're going to put things. And this will also help you with your theme, which will also help you decide what sort of stuff you need to get or don't need to get. But it'll also help you if you're like anything like me. I have a ton, and I mean a ton, of Christmas stuff. I mean absolute tons of Christmas stuff. I know as I go through the Christmas stuff, I know what stuff to leave out and what stuff that I can just put back into the boxes and go. It can go back up. I'll save it for another Christmas so that way when it comes time to actually decorate, it's all there. And yeah, I did do something crazy. I actually put the lights on my Christmas trees and on my garland already. Why did I do that? Well, one, I wanted to make sure I had enough lights. And two, my lights live like little mannequins or tiny frightening statues out in my garage. So my trees live out there. So that way, the trees they're just covered in trash bags. I can bring them in. They're all ready to go. It's one less thing I have to do when it comes time to decorate my house. And that makes me so, so happy. You have no idea how happy that makes me because I can get this all done. And I got to do this without the whole frustration of it needs to be done. It needs to be done right now. Get it all done. I can get it all done in a hurry and then put it back and then fluff it out. Don't go crazy trying to fluff things out right now. Because if you do, you are going to go crazy because you're going to put it back and you get the whole idea. This is prep time. It's not time to go through and decide that, I'm going to make everything look perfect and then put it away so I can pull it back out again. Nope. You're just getting things ready. If you are a cooker, if you are a person who does baking, that sort of thing, I think it's called mise en place, where you get everything ready and have it all set so that way when it's time to do it, when it's time to actually do the thing, you have all of your stuff. You're not making those trips to the store repeatedly because that's annoying as all get out. You can also, if you draw pictures, you can show people where you want stuff. You can even try things out. Here's a picture of my living room with the garland, how I think I'm going to do it. And I can get some ideas of where things are going to be, and I can communicate with other people, not that there's going to be anybody doing this, what's going to be where. And this is one of those wonderful things because, yes. Then I can also look at this and say, hey, these are the things that I'm going to need to make, because this year there are quite a few decorations I'm going to need to make, but I know what I'm going to need and I know where they're going to need to be. So yeah, I know you're wanting spooky season, but I just haven't been into spooky season this year. Maybe next year I'll get into it. So this year, no spooky season videos because I'm just not into it. But when it comes time for Christmas, I will be all ready to go and you'll see those bigger projects. And speaking of, I'd like to thank these people who let me start Christmas really, really early. If you want to become part of the Patreon family or part of the channel members, which will let us do bigger and better projects and let me try out bigger and better Christmas items, go ahead and join one of those and you will get these videos early and you get a behind the scenes weekly vlog which shows what's going on behind the scenes. It's a great way to support the channel. It's a great way so that I can make bigger projects because I really do want to make bigger projects. And, YouTube is YouTube, so you never know how much money you're going to make off of YouTube each year. Another way to support this channel is to like and share this video. Liking this video tells YouTube that yes, more people should see this video. It should get out to the masses, which then makes it so that I can do bigger and better projects. This is going to be a lot of fun this Christmas, and sorry if you were expecting a spooky season video. Maybe we'll do one, maybe we'll do a spooky season shorts. We'll see. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this, and are you preparing for the holiday season right now? I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope we get to see you again the next time you stop by.